feedback from
Nope.
them.
All right. Can you hear us out there in
Yeah,
internet
they can.
land? They can hear us? Okay, cool. You know what? I totally didn't look up what number Second Sons this is. Buzz, what number Second Sons is this?
10.
All right, cool.
Season 2.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of the second season of Second Sons. As always, and highly professionally, I'm Roy Rogers, formerly of the New York City Meta, presently of my apartment Meta. My dog is sleeping very cutely right over there. Yes, I do say the same thing every time. It is quite charming. With me, as always, is Aaron Glazer, who, as is my wont, will not say anything as part of introduction. And I am joined today by the actual handsome man himself, Buzz, straight out of an excellent performance at Stolic, which we'll be spending a good amount of time talking about. Hey, Buzz, how you doing?
Very, very good. I have my coffee now, so...
He's got his coffee. He's up. It's great. I mean, one of the things this way we keep Buzz, like, as an honest young man, is making him get up early to do these episodes. And then joining us for the first time is someone who I've wanted to have on the show for a while. My favorite Game of Thrones player with a card design in the wrong game. How you doing, Tom Malucci? Who also did really well at Stolic. Spoiler alert.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good. So how are you, like, adjusted to the time zone since you came back from the great SoCal tour?
Yeah. Coming back is way easier than going east.
Hey, Malucci, where the hell do you live?
Rhode Island.
Oh, God.
So, I'm Swedish, as you might know. And when he said Rhode Island, I say, okay, New York. That's correct, right?
More
No.
Boston.
No.
Boston. So if you were to think about, like, which major city Rhode Island's closer to, it's Boston.
Yeah.
Hey,
But Boston is also
wait,
basically New York, right?
Buzz. Buzz, what's Europe's smallest, shittiest country?
That's Rhode Island.
like,
Luxembourg?
like Azerbaijan or something.
Yeah,
Is Azerbaijan
Rhode Island.
in Europe or is it in Asia?
No, it's in Europe.
That's unclear. They are in the
I
Eurovision.
think that's one of those, like, which kind of racist is drawing the map questions.
Yeah.
But anyway, beyond geopolitics, which, you know, is well within the scope of Second Sons, it's been a while since we've had an episode, so I think we should probably burn through a little bit of the news. And I would be remiss without mentioning the big piece of news in my life, which is that after Red Saturday last week, we announced the Northeast Championship Tour, of which Tom Malucci is one of the organizers of and has been helping with me. This has been a semi-secret project. I've been, like, passive-aggressively hinting at it a lot. So how it basically works is in the Northeast of the United States, we're going to be having 7 events modeled after the Road to Stolic, with the 8th event being the new Northeast Championship at Red Saturday. Red Saturday just passed this past weekend. Winners of each tournament will get a bye at the next Red Saturday, and we'll get, thanks to Sandy Barnabas, our wayward co-host, who was supposed to be on this episode but apparently doesn't know how to work a computer despite being a computer programmer. He has provided a room for the winners of every Northeast Championship Tour event. It's a really huge initiative. It was very much herding cats and remains herding cats, but we are really committed with FFG sort of moving into the L5R space to sort of keep the community in the Northeast of the U.S. as vibrant as it's been for the now 4 years that I've been playing this game highly competitively. So I'm really excited. The first event is being hosted by the Boston Meta, which, as we were just talking about, Boston, not New York, important to know, in February. So if you are on the East Coast, can fly to Boston, drive to Boston, walk to Boston, train to Boston, like I will be doing training, you should come out to Winds of Winter. Than runs a great tournament.
You're missing you're burying the lead here.
That's the lead.
Britt and Lauren Fitch will be at the fucking tournament. I'm pretty sure Dennis is going up. I'm trying to figure out how to rearrange my life to make it just for that.
If I do end up driving, Aaron, I can come pick you up on Friday.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue is that it is 7 days before some other tournament we're going to.
Oh shit! It is, isn't it? Oh, that is 7 days before the tour. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a little brutal too.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can sell my.
But not for Tom. You can, like, walk, right? Practically, right?
I'll figure it out.
Bridge. So,
I'll be there.
yeah. So, but it's going to be a great tournament. We're kicking off the tour. it's an exciting time here in the Northeast, because I think you'll probably see this, I think, more common more common. So I think in the Midwest. Oh my God, not Mid-East. Well, it is depending if you're on the one. But anyway, the Midwest of the United States, they're planning something. I think SoCal is planning something with FFG focusing its official OP attentions away from our game. I think you're going to see in North America more and more tournaments and tournament circuits. So
new Boston, new player going to Boston. Jesse's going.
Jesse Carpenter isn't the.
I don't know any other Jessies, so I'm assuming.
But you said new player, so I
new player that we didn't know was going. New announcement, new draw to get you all to come.
That's even more impressive, because isn't Jesse driving to? Whatever. We can talk about this other time. Anyway, so that's the big announcement from my end. The other major piece of news just dropped today, which is the Martell box, which was sort of hinted at by Danny Schaefer at on the 300th, right? 300th? Is it 400th? 300th? Right, book?
A number of episode.
A huge number of episodes with Will past summer.
No one else consistently.
Yeah, Will is the most consistent. The white book announcement of the Martell box has now been superseded by the actual official Evan written FFG article, which has hella spoilers.
Oh, that explains it. Evan wrote it. I was like, wow, this article actually seems to know what's happening in the meta and shit. FFG never does that. Evan wrote it. Got it. Thanks, Evan.
So there's a lot of Evan's great. So there is a lot of cards that were revealed. So what do you guys think of sort of the announcement? Buzz, what do you think of the announcement? Anything stand out to you?
Well, I'm doing computer things right now. Can you take someone else?
All right, Tom, what stands out to you?
What stands out?
Yeah, in the announcement from the box, like as being like, oh my God, I must have this card yesterday.
The agenda. The wars to come. It's ridiculous. I'm never going to play any other agenda.
Yeah, it's pretty redundant.
But is that positive for the game?
No. It's super not for the game.
No, it's super, super broken. It's awesome.
Well,
yeah, like,
I mean, sure, it's really, really great, but agendas are supposed to be really, really great. And we haven't had an issue that some of the previous ones aren't to the same level. But I mean, that is just increases the potential that more agendas can be printed in. Like, I mean, the power level.
I mean, does Banner exist outside of Compo once this is printed?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, banner combos will still exist. Well,
yeah, but
there will be certain interactions that people are like, okay, this works so well together, I'm gonna play it. But the more like thematic decks are dead, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can see, I guess, like a Reigns deck maybe again, and I can see crossing still for Rush because I don't think Rush really cares about wars to come. But
yeah.
And like maybe HOD if like location hate cycles out of the meta, but otherwise this is just going to be freaking everywhere. Like, why would you ever play Fealty?
Never.
You won't. Yeah, just the ability to have three, like room for 3 money plots is gonna be.
But that,
I mean,
there's no
just always
that's
2
okay.
counting.
I mean, if there's a core agenda that has done its job and was there when we needed it, and if we don't play it anymore, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but this is never going to... I prefer to have seen this in a cycle, to be honest, right? Than see it evergreen, because it basically... You know, like, I like the idea of Fealty being something that's in the core, and then gradually power creep happens, and then we get these new agendas, and then they rotate, and we see Fealty again as then Danny releases new agendas, right? In an ideal world. That's how I would like to see it, but the fact that this and Reigns are... go permanent fixtures for as long as this game exists as run by FFG, I think is a little bit of a problem. I'm sympathetic to Buzz's point of view that this could just basically mean that Danny's going to power creep the hell out of agendas, and we'll start seeing powerful ones like what we saw in first edition instead of sort of these milquetoast ones like the winter agendas or Brotherhood, winter and summer agendas and Brotherhood. So hopefully, but we'll see. Donovan, congrats to you, man, because you are definitely in the champs who shook up the meta crowd. I'm actually also really interested in that plot, the Martell plot, which I think
Wait,
is.
hang on. Before we go on to that, you said something, and I want to follow it up.
Sure.
What are the champ cards that shook up the meta?
First
Rains,
snow.
Rains, first snow.
Flea
Okay.
Bottom,
Flea bottom.
Mhm.
That it?
Annals of
that-
Castle
Oh
Black.
yeah.
Oh, Black.
Oh, Annals seems.
I mean,
Annals seems
clearly
cool.
Duel. Come on, that was the whole discussion I read Saturday about how great Duel is.
Oh.
I think that's it, right? At that point. Oh, and I mean, we don't know what Corey will do this, like what HRD that hasn't come out yet. So
Do we believe that Corey's got any say or any activity in this anymore?
well, I'm just saying that he's got an agenda coming out
Oh,
in,
okay.
in a month that will shake up the meta, hopefully.
I mean,
not.
ideally. Depends how much of a certain house is around, right?
How much Dagmar? It's really not just how much a house, how much Dagmar is floating around. But yeah, I think that's basically it, right? So Greg and Bruno and Alvaro and now
So-
Donovan.
So Buzz,
winners.
what's up? Jakob is slacking.
Mhm.
He hasn't broken the meta with a champ card.
No,
Yet he's still got one more floating around. Who knows?
he was very, very intentionally printing a what's it called? Thematic. one?
Thematic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Still powerful, just not like
Oh yeah. Yes,
meta
not meta
shattering.
changing. No.
Just a good card.
Oh, Jonesy.
Iron Bank is pretty good.
Iron Bank
good.
is real good. Didn't
I
shake
think
up
we,
the
I
meta,
think
but
we
it's
thought
really
it would change the meta, I think, a little bit more than it did, but it's still a really good card.
Yeah.
So,
good.
and
Really, really good in Targ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to go back to the plot. I think the plot is nutso. Like that Martell plot, the ability to sort of like say, okay, I am going to. You don't have to be a good player. I'm going to act. I'm going to flip this plot and get exactly what I need in this situation. Is really powerful, particularly when you have 9 other plots to choose from, and that reduces the number of plots before you can recycle out of your 10. So I think it's particularly powerful in Martell Wars to Come decks. So I'm really excited for the plot because I am bad at the
I
plot
think
game.
Buzz is going to play Naval like in every deck for the rest of all time.
Maybe.
Like, what's his favorite plot again? I think
Naval. Yeah.
Dorn is exactly what Martell needed.
It's a Redonkulon card.
Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
The only thing that I don't like is that people are gonna play the house that I like and the style that I like. If this was printed and it says Buzz only, I would be so happy. But when this releases, I am kind of forced to not play anything that is released and only counter all the bullshit that people were gonna come up with.
You just gotta
Yeah.
wait a little bit, Buzz. Wait like
Yeah,
6
yeah.
months. People will forget about it, and then you can go back to playing those decks. So
Yeah. So
I
I'm
just-
very hyped to play with Hightower and Mace. I just need to wait for people to stop doing their rush bullshit and I can do my trick bullshit in a few months.
Yeah, I don't think Rush is going away.
Yeah, no.
particularly if combo sticks around the meta. So
It can't.
who knows? We'll see. We got a Store Championship season to see, and apparently, if a Facebook group
Oh my
is
God.
any indication, combo is the most important thing that's ever happened in this game. So,
Is that, like, I know you said that sarcastically, but, like, is that possibly true? Like, you can make the argument that it is the most, like, that a prevalent combo meta would be the most important thing that could happen to this game, right?
it could be. It could be the thing that leads to the most far-reaching changes. I think on the thematic. I think on the Wars to Come, Alex and Chris and Jesse were talking about how they were
Who
afraid.
and Jesse?
Alex Black, Jesse
Yeah.
Carpenter, and Chris Thompson were talking about how they were afraid that the basically Aaron Glazer style restricted list would sneak in through the back door because of the need to restrict
mean,
cards.
Since
with
I'm
animals.
clearly better than them, since we played the exact same deck and I finished with a better record, since I'm clearly better than them, obviously my idea is right. That's how this works, right? Because that's what I keep being told.
But so I do think that if we do have to restrict annals, and that's the route that Danny goes, it will open the door for more cards to be restricted. So
Well,
yeah,
you can't just restrict annals. Restricting one card does.
we restrict
literally-
annals and wheels,
Don't-
right?
I
No,
don't think
no,
that.
don't do
no.
that. Don't do that.
Want to do that?
Just make it say limit once per phase, please.
Yeah, or just it needs a Narada or a ban. Like
It doesn't
Honest-
need to be banned. It literally just
honestly,
needs to say once per phase.
I want the restricted list more than anyone on Earth, and if they banned annals and flea bottom, I'd be like, never mind, I'm good.
The other thing that stands out to me is another plot, which is Beyond Reproach, the 5114, which is basically says never play negative attachments ever again. You can play 2 of them. If your deck really loses to negative attachments, you can play 2 of them and still have 5 gold. So that's a really interesting, again, evergreen plot that they put in there. That basically is like, fuck you, Night's Watch. Like, fuck you to all decks. So
Yeah, but it also does like nothing against a bunch of decks, so that's kind of okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, when you have 10 plots to play with, though, you kind of always include one, though, right? Or at least you do until attachments are totally out of the meta.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair.
So in my Lannister Wars to Come deck, that
While
Plays all
you
the
have
big guys.
while you have 10 plots, yes, you will always have one of these.
Like 10 plots basically means sideboard of plots. I also another major fear I have for that agenda though is like I feel like almost all decks are just going to run 2 counting because then you don't really need in deck draw anymore. Like unless it's hyper efficient, why do you need in deck draw?
I mean, you
Isn't
still-
3x Littlefinger hyper efficient? I mean,
I mean,
seriously.
you can still run 3 Littlefinger.
Okay,
And I've been playing the hybridized version of your Stotwick deck because I really like it. It's the most fun I've had in a while.
Thank you.
Keep giving me jumper shit. I love jumper shit.
I love jumper shit. I have a Lanny Conclave that's a hyper jumper, so
Yeah, shoot me the list later.
I'm gonna try it out and tune it a little bit first.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
Tom, you had a point though,
yeah.
and then we're gonna go to Stalik. So
What?
Tom, do you had a point about draw 2x counting coppers that you wanted to say, Tom?
Oh no, I just was shaking my head no to the 3x Littlefinger.
3x Littlefinger. Yes. But
No.
okay, so Roy, you asked me about what I'm hyped about for the box, and I have my answer now. So
Okay.
I will always be a Lannister player at heart, but I love Martell. So, the Bomb Doran. Oh,
You like him?
yes.
Oh.
Oh, he's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. I feel he's kind of boring.
Is
No.
he boring? I don't know. He's boring. The ability to take or give an icon
give.
is really interesting.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, the give part
I'm-
helps.
Yeah. If it would only be remove, it's like whatever. But the what do you say in English? The
Flexibility.
the flexibility. Yeah, but I don't care about flexibility. I care what happens to my opponent's head when they try to figure out what the
decision
fuck-
paralysis.
Yeah.
Mind fuck.
Yeah, well, we say that we throw screws into the gears of the other player, so that they can't think properly, and that's what I love. And he does just that, I think.
He does create nightmarish decision paralysis. But the question is, like, how valuable are 7-costers these days? We'll see.
I don't think he's good enough.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
but I think
he does have a
gonna be
keyword.
fun. Does he?
Yeah, I feel like
Is
the
he renowned?
keyword
Doesn't.
would have been nice.
He doesn't.
He doesn't have
Oh.
insight, right?
No,
He,
he's
sh-
got-
he should really have a keyword.
He didn't have room in his text box for a keyword.
It's true.
I mean, Martell needs some keywords. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Martell's not allowed to have like the bomb that was promised. They always almost come really close to having the bomb that was promised. Other factions could get them.
I mean,
but
there
not
could
Martell.
still be a 6-cost bomb, and we don't know what else is in this cycle yet.
That's true.
I'm not ready to give up on it yet.
Anything else stand out to people? I like Sir Cletus. He's cool. He's a cool 3-drop.
I'd probably
He
run a
could
one
have
up.
used the keyword.
He has one. No attachments except weapon.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I don't even see
I
much
don't think
else.
so. I mean, there's the Val that ambushes things in. Let's see what else we can read.
Whatever.
That
Seems
was
fine.
fine. But yeah, the plot and Doran is my take from the box.
We're getting an event version of To the Spears for all you 1.0 elitists.
Oh.
It's a 0-cost event that says To the Spears right here.
Okay. I
Non-loyal,
I
so-
thought you meant choosing the spear. I was like, oh, that's neat, but never
Oh,
mind.
that card was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Is that the one that gave an icon?
No,
right?
it's standard a Martel
Oh,
character
right.
and gave it melee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
that
dirty
card.
event.
Yeah.
All
Everyone
right.
was like, we'll never find space for that, and then we used it, and it was like, we're all finding space for that, huh?
So I think it's really interesting as well that the Martel box was announced now, which makes me think we may see it earlier in 2018 than we saw either the Stark or the Night's Watch box. So keep a lookout for that. That might mean that could FFG be pushing towards 3 boxes a year?
No, I don't think so.
It does seem like a very early announcement.
Yeah. So
Well, they haven't announced anything about store championships, so they pushed something, I guess.
yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's organized play, so that makes sense.
Sure.
yeah.
But I mean, FFG is covering OP's asses as usual, so.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be sometimes Evan's job. But moving on from that sexy topic to the other big news, the elephant in the room, the castle in the room, I guess you could say, which is Stolic. So
That is
we're
a
going to talk about
Dumbass way
both.
of saying
Whatever. Aaron's least favorite topic first, which is melee. But before that, I want to make sure that we congratulate Marty on his success. This is, of course, for those of you who don't know him well, he's the designer. This is his second Stolic win. So, and he is the designer of the Reader. So you can see his face on your copy of the Reader. And congratulations to him. He's the first repeat Stolic champ, which I checked with Buzz like 5 times. So he's the first repeat Stolic champ, which is a huge accomplishment. He sort of had a tear in there through the tournament, it seemed like, following him from Jousting Pavilion. We'll hear more, I'm sure, from the other people, as you know, from Buzz and Tom as we go along. But I just wanted to make sure we start off congratulating Marty on a hell of an accomplishment. So, or Heron, or whatever of his various nicknames he has. So, all right, Buzz, as fellow King of Swiss of Melee, why don't you tell me a little bit about how the Melee went?
Hey, wait,
Is
hang
Sandy
on.
here?
Sandy's here.
I made it.
All right. You arrived just in time for Stolic. So we're talking about the melee first, Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It happened
I'm
first.
out.
So.
I slept through everything but the first round.
Yeah.
All right. So Buzz, from one King of Swiss to another in a melee tournament, how did it go? What was it like? How was the melee?
So we had the FFG restricted list, and it turned out to be amazing. Was very many fun games, exciting games, tight games, and the meta was very much not only Rush. I actually built my deck to handle Rush and didn't face much Rush at all, but managed to win my games anyway. My first game was actually against Wedge, Costas, and some guy I don't remember, but he played a beast deck and he played okay. So I mean that first table managed me to get one of the top strength of schedules in the tournament.
Did you won that table?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah. When you've got Wedge and Costas in that's at begging for strong extended strength of schedule. So
Yeah.
any other outstanding games before we go to the cut?
Well, I actually had a 3-pointed first place in a game. So there was actually no one that had 60 points. That is 4 full wins in the tournament. But two of us, number 1 and 2, were on the same table in the third match, and we were all at 13 power at the end of the game, so we got 8 points each. That was a close game.
And so what happened in the top 16 then for Melee?
Let's not talk about that.
All right. Well, let's not talk about that. We can
No.
move on to the joust.
Wait. Are we not going to talk about how I was the highest placed in American in the Melee?
Ooh. Where did you place, Tom?
Like 33rd or 36th or something. It was pretty bad.
I mean, how many people were there? at the Melee?
180.
I mean, that's pretty good. Like,
I had also played 0 games of Melee before Stalik, so that was good.
did you have fun, Tom? Did you have fun?
Steven
I don't
Avery
know.
did pretty well too, didn't he?
Who?
I don't know. He
Did
did
he
in
breathe?
Joust, not in
You
Melee.
did- okay.
No, in Melee. I thought it was also his first time ever playing Melee. He's like, I won 2 tables or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, he did win 2 tables. We both went fourth on our first table. We won second and third rounds. I don't know what he did the 4th round. I came in second on the
Yeah, I
4th
don't know.
table. I'm glad I didn't win my last table because even if I did, I would have been 1 point short of making the cut, and it would have felt bad. Yeah, the cameras got wrecked on the stream.
Yeah,
by the way.
that's why I'm
All
not
right.
focusing.
All right.
on-
Well, we can move on to sort of the joust, and we'll start with the worst performing player in the joust to talk about his day. Sandy, how did the joust go for you, and what did you play at Stalik?
So I'm not the worst. I mean, I'm the worst performing player here.
Yeah, that's what I
guess.
meant. Like here, so
Mhm.
like I mean, technically, Aaron and I did the worst because we never showed up, right?
I mean,
so
that's not doing badly. Doesn't make
So
sense.
I did. I was doing all right. I think I was playing Targ Fealty as always, and it was fine. There were a couple of matchups where, like, I lost 2 games early on. One to a Greyjoy deck that just saw all the answers. I don't remember what I lost the other game to. I think it was a Targ Fealty that was playing some very interesting plots. Then I lost a game in the standing phase where had we flipped to next plots, I would have. So, like, I don't know what to do there, really. So it didn't even. I mean, like, it was literally like 2 seconds later, we would have flipped.
uh-oh,
Did I get disconnected there?
Perhaps.
No.
sort of.
Well, so that was my third loss was when I lost in standing, and then after that I was like, I don't really care that much. And I played some fun games. I lost to a Stark deck. I think it was my 4th loss, but I went 4-4.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean it's not great, but I definitely think had I won earlier, I wouldn't have faced the decks that I did, because I was definitely facing some decks that I don't think would have done better in like the broader environment, but like because I was also not doing that well, I ended up playing and they beat me.
The classic losers bracket dilemma.
The Jank Tank.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. At a tournament that large, you're going to run into random stuff, and I think like it's the people that can come back from being like 1 and 2 are the ones that like really
Surprise you.
do well.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, Buzz is back,
You went,
and that
you went 5.
I went 5-3. I was the second best 5-3, so I missed the cut with 2 places. I went 5-0 first, and then as per usual in Stalik Joust. Okay, so my history is I always make the melee cut. I never make the Joust cut. And then I trade with Ioria if he wants melee stuff and I want Joust stuff. We trade because he doesn't play melee, and he makes the Joust cut. So yeah, I went 5-3 and then just nope, 3 losses, 1 bad matchup and 2 crap outs of the deck.
What did you play, Buzz?
I played my Targ Crossing. It's published as Kappa Pride, I think, on the Thrones TB. It's a Targ Crossing first snow jumper deck. It's very, very fun. Doesn't play Valor. Plays duel. Rabs played the same deck, but he played Valor instead of duel, and he started off 0-3. So take that as you will. I had really a lot of fun. I went into the tournament knowing that melee is my game, so I focused on it, prepped a better deck for it, and then just took the most fun deck I had for Joust. Did well, but missed the cut.
And again, a lot of great players were sitting at 5-3. Jakob was 5-3 this year, right?
Yeah, I think we had 10 players 5-3 and 3 in the cut, or something like that. We had so many players just missing the cut.
Yeah, so many good players, right? The Thompsons were both 5-3 as well. There's one other person that I thought I knew that was also 5-3 with you and Jakob down there.
James
Speck
was 5-3.
was
A bunch of
Spec was 5-3
Americans.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, man, Spec's a good dude.
yeah, I like Spec. All right.
I mean, just some more. Brainu, you might know him. It's like a brainiac when it comes to building decks. I built some of the combo decks, I think, and the Angro-Venus deck. And I think Costas missed. I think, I mean, Ryan Wood missed the cut barely. There were some really, really good players that barely missed the cut.
Yeah. So 5-3 at Stolic. So again, I want to congratulate Jess in particular for as our first Road to Stolic American representative. Going 5-3 at this tournament when you have people like that there is a huge accomplishment. But America actually did pretty well this year, didn't we, Tom? Overall, besides placing the Thompsons 5-3, besides placing James Speck at 5-3, what else happened to the Americans?
Hey, but wait, didn't a European win both Stolic and Worlds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
I got knocked
usual.
out by an American. So.
Well, a European has always won Stolic.
Yes.
Considering that this is the first time a sizable number of Americans have arrived.
Yeah.
Did an Italian win Italian nationals? I don't know. But anyway, go ahead, Tom.
Stolic Joust went very well for me. I went 7-1 in the Swiss. My Swiss loss was to Marty, so that was okay. When the guy who ends up winning it is your only Swiss loss. I really enjoyed the meta, I guess. There's not a meta, but like the matches I played against all factions except for Martell and Baratheon. I saw Night's Watch twice, but it was Builders once and it was Reigns the other time, which is completely different. And then I saw 2 Tyrell decks. But Joust was really fun. I ended up...
What were you playing?
Greyjoy Reigns, yeah.
Which was not the primary American deck, though, right? Because the primary American deck was what, Tom?
I don't know that we had a primary
wasn't
American
one.
Yeah, there
deck.
was like 3 or 4.
Wasn't there? Weren't most of you guys, most of them playing the Lannister Crossing?
Me, James, and Kevin were on Greyjoy Reigns, although all of our lists were slightly different. Chris Schoenthal and Ryan were on Lanny Crossan. Embry was on Targ
Reigns.
Reigns.
Targ
Yep.
Reigns. Yeah.
Yep. And then the Thompsons were they both on
Lanny
Night's
Crossing, I
Watch?
thought.
No, I think
Well,
Jess
Jess
was
played
on Lanny Crossan, but Chris played Night's Watch.
Night's Watch Wolf. Yeah.
So it was pretty different for the Americans. We had a couple different decks.
Are we just ignoring Brad Iyer?
No. I don't know what Brad played. I don't remember what Brad played.
I'm too lazy to go to the Jousting Pavilion, so.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I I ended up just making the decision kind of on my own that
Martel Wolf.
he played Martel Wolf.
Yes.
That makes sense. He's been playing a lot of attrition. He likes that style. I think the decision we came to was that there isn't a meta in a group of people that's 300 plus, right? It's to get through the early rounds. I think you just need to be on a strong deck, and you need to be on something that you know very well and can pilot very well, which is why I stayed with Greyjoy. Like, I played Greyjoy at Worlds. I didn't do great with it. I saw 2 mirror matches in the extended cut, which I lost both of.
The worst.
Which
I
is
hate Greyjoy
which
mirror
is
matches.
why I missed the cut at Worlds. But I changed 2 cards in my deck between Worlds and Stalik to help with the mirror match a little bit, and slightly because I was afraid of Nothing Burns Like the Cold. I cut my 2 bodyguards for 2 sea bitches, and I only saw 1 mirror. It didn't end up being that relevant, but the deck performed all day. My loss to Marty was, it was basically Reigns versus Reigns, and he kind of built the board faster, and he saw enough dupes that I couldn't just Valor him out of the game. And then my loss to Schoenthal in the cut, he was playing Rush, and I didn't see like a near perfect draw, essentially, which is why Rush just took me down. It wasn't even a game. Like, I almost scooped turn 1, so, which was frustrating, but it was at least to a good friend and a fellow American. So
Yeah, I think
and then
we have every year we have a similar philosophy in Team Sweden. People will bring whatever they think is fun to play. We brought 2 Team Sweden decks that were like a fair number of people who played. It was the Lanny Reigns with supporting the Faith, and it was the Greyjoy Reigns. Both made the cut, but both also didn't make the cut. But that's the kind of deck that we think is the best for Stalik. If you don't play something like me, you need to play something super solid that does its own game very well, and you need to know the matchups and just play. Because people will come up and play whatever the fuck they think is fun, which is the style I play. And I show up with a deck that you don't know what I'm doing. You just need to try and figure it out as fast as possible. And yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
A strong deck with good consistency is really going to be the best thing in a field that big.
Yeah. Did you face any Nothing Burns Like It Cold?
Nope, never saw it once.
Yeah. Because
I did.
Okay.
There was that Target Guilty deck that ran Political Disaster, Nothing Burns Like the Cold, Barring the Gates, First Snow, all in a row. That was pretty bad.
Somebody really hates combo.
They hated me. Those are all those plots beat me.
It's very possible that some of my opponents had it and just never, like, there were a lot of games that I had a sea bitch on the board all game and they never had a location that I could take. And because I didn't have any attachments in the deck, it would have just been a wasted plot for them to use it. So it's possible that my opponents had it and just never had the opportunity to use it.
Yeah, because that's also something we were like, okay, so Nothing Burns Like the Cold it's a great plot. People maybe should play it, but most people at Stalik, they don't play destructive, they play constructive, and Nothing Burns is not something you will face a lot at Stalik in general. So we were like, okay, fuck, we won't take against that, we won't take that plot in mind at all, and it was a great choice. So
I played a couple practice games with Greyjoy before going to Stalik, and multiple times I lost a bodyguard and an Iron Mines to Nothing Burns, and I was just like, this is brutal. Like, I can't be losing all of my saves to this plot. So it just made sense to cut 2 saves, but have more protection for the Iron Mines, and it worked out well, I think.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you guys think the impact of the Tyrell box was on the Stolic meta? Do you think it was kind of a little bit of a too little, like too early to really?
It won Stolic.
Yeah, but Tyrell did. But like, was it because of the cards in the Tyrell box? Like, this is what I'm trying to ask.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, not really. There wasn't that much maze. Tyrell did really badly overall. If you look at the statistics, they were plentiful, which Tyrell is great.
I didn't see the winning deck. Did it have that new plot?
Which is a new plot.
It definitely had
Fortress.
wardens. It had Wardens of the South for sure, which was huge in the
Yeah.
the Tyrell Reigns
And
deck.
I think that is actually probably the single card that saw the most play because it's so easy to slot in.
Yeah.
Well,
I got
Regain Reigns.
I got hit by Spider's Web, I think once or twice out of a Reigns deck, but it was
Yeah.
fine. Like it was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the claim raise, right?
Yeah.
He was definitely running pulling the strings. He was definitely running trade routes.
Pulling the
Sorry,
strings is
Wardens
not a
of
new
Wardens of South is what I meant. Excuse me.
I did see trade routes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a ridiculous plot.
Yes.
Yes, it is bad.
But what
anything else?
I'm meaning is that there were a lot of Tyrell players, and there weren't that many in the top. Not even a lot, I think.
How many other Tyrell made it besides Marty into
Uh,
the top 16?
There were
my
more, right?
top 32
Zero,
and my
right?
top 16 match were both Tyrell. I mean, yeah.
There
That's pretty
were
good.
He ran two Paxter, core Paxter shit.
Makes sense though.
I
You need
think-
the intrigue.
the best houses. Qualification ratio was Martell and Lannister, I think. Yeah. And Tyrell was massively underrepresented in the cut, overrepresented in the Swiss.
In which cut? The 16 or
Uh,
Like in top-
16,
Oh, that's a
16.
good. That's a
in
good
top
question.
16? Okay.
Yes, in 16.
Okay. It's because I
mean,
I
top-
took out the rest of them.
Yeah, maybe. But so I think that sure, it won, and it definitely defined the meta in that there were a lot of Tyrell. People expected a lot of Tyrell and teched against it and did well against it. So. And
What about the non?
I think-
Go ahead.
one thing though,
So
the big thing is Tyrell was relevant, Rush was relevant, and Combo wasn't because of it, I think.
Yeah, and now we have Hyper Brienne.
I do want to say, I think qualification ratio is very interesting in a large tournament like Stolic, because the popular or strong houses tend to get played a lot more by like people that just download a deck and play it, whatever. And the people taking like Lannister and Martell are not strong right now, I don't think. I mean, I guess Landing Crossing, but like the people playing those decks have played them inside and out, and like despite Tyrell being flavor of the month, are playing the deck. So I think it's kind of like there is some disparity in terms of like or selection bias when you look at qualification ratio. That being said, I don't think you can account for Tyrell's like dramatically low qualification ratio, even with that.
Wait, hold on a second. There were 4 Tyrells in the top 16.
Yeah, so
I mean, there were 4. There were 4.
Yeah, and
There were
still,
4 Lannies too.
Exactly,
that's-
they're still underrepresented.
Sure, but there's only so much room in 16, right? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to look at the larger sample for that? Like, if 4 made it through, that's not like it's. I mean, even if it's underperformed, like I don't know. I feel like we're talking about a game here or there at that point, and like 4 in
Right.
the top 16 seems like an awful fucking lot.
There were also 7 more Tyrells in the top 32, so 11 total in the top 32.
Yeah.
So
okay,
Tyrell just did very bad
Is it
in
really
that.
30% of the field?
Yeah.
How many
yes.
Tyrells were there total?
I don't know.
I think 25.
And none of this is
Okay.
controlling for player quality, right? Like, which I know we can't do, but we
Well-
understand that some people that just like broke out the Terrell box and were like, I'm gonna play some jank shit.
Sure. Yeah.
Like 11 of the top 32 were Terrell. Like that's
75 total players, 22% of the field was Tyrell.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
thought
then
it was more, but
then 11 out of 32, and the 11 of the top 32 is a fuck ton.
Yeah.
I mean, so like that whole conversation. Nope, Terrell played a lot, won the tournament.
I mean, we also had all 7 houses represented in the top 6. I'm sorry, 7 of the 8 houses. Baratheon did not make the top 32.
No Barra Alliance.
There was no Barra, but like we had 2 starts in the top 16,
Mm-hmm.
which is
pretty good.
not something you're going to get at Worlds.
I feel no, but I feel
I mean,
like
Worlds' faction representation wasn't horrible this year.
I just think that in World, like, the bigger the tournament, the more likely a random, like, loss is to take somebody out. And I'm not
Yeah.
sure how representative that ends up being. Like, I'd almost rather look at everyone 5-3 or better, because there, but for the luck of the draw goes I, right? Like,
Sure.
if you look at everyone who finished 5-3 or better, I feel like that's probably a more representative sample of this.
I mean, I think 6-2 is a good cutoff versus 5-3. Like that. I mean, at that point, like I don't know. 6-2 is you lost 2 games and you made it to go on further. I think that's a reasonable. It's also something like 12% of the field at 6-2.
Well, wait, did 5-3s though made it into the top 32? Though,
Yeah.
right?
No.
None this year. Okay, none
Oh,
this year. Okay.
Right,
No,
they're
I'm
so goddamn mad.
6 and 2 was top 49,
Okay.
and
So
those
then, yeah,
created the cut.
then that's probably a fair sample, the top 49 then, because if you went 6-2 in that fucking giant field, right? Like, yeah, I mean but that's the people who really performed well, right? Like, no one's ever gone to a tournament when 6-2 and been like, man, I sucked.
Well, that's how I think, but sure.
Well, the rest of us are plebs. So, what did we feel the impact of the non-Tyrell box cards though? Like, we have 2 Targ people who played Targ. Were both of you playing Quotho?
Quotho 3x, 3x, 3x. Yes.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he was so good. He's the reason I built the deck. So
Is
Okay.
is he arguably the best card in that fucking box?
It's possible.
There's a lot of good cards in that box.
there's a lot of good
I
cards.
don't know.
I mean, he's the best tempo card in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I
mean,
could argue that.
You
Trade route
you
is pretty good.
throw away value
Trade routes is
to
really
get a
good.
free big. He's huge, big character in play for free. And
I hear
the
Targ
card
likes
draws
cards.
not-
in
the
his
cards
card
free.
the cards you throw away are Second Sons and Freedmen. So
So I definitely got screwed. by
Remember when
both
you guys
a few
Mocked
times?
me for Friedman? I do. It's like a month
I
ago.
didn't.
what did you say?
I-
I said
I should've-
Paper Snakes is the best card. They're so good.
Yeah, you did. Buzz agreed. Everyone else shat talked me.
That is
You're
not
like,
true.
I mean, it's
I don't think
Go to
that's
the
true.
tape.
There's no way it's top 5.
I still don't run Freedmen, so I can't necessarily agree that they're that good.
I mean, I built
But
my.
Sandy
I built
missed
my,
out on his dream this past
Yeah.
weekend. If you had been running Friedman, you never know. You could have been.
Yeah, I built my deck around discarding cards from my hand. So 3x Freedman, 3x Coda makes sense. But I mean, if you don't build your deck around it, sure, they're not that great, but they're good.
I like discard obviously with Flea Bottom and Plaza and Kotho, but I find that the character slots are so tight that I can't fit in Freedman over something like Eerie or Doria, which are actually like helping me.
But yeah, my deck doesn't play. It plays
Yeah.
Khal Drogo, doesn't play Danny. So the real
Yeah.
is
I mean,
crap,
without
etc.
Further, you have crossing, right? Like
Yes, and crossing is an
they're
auto trigger
significant
every turn. Yeah.
enemies. Right.
Tom, did your Grey Drape deck play any box cards?
No.
Yeah. Why
No.
would
So
it?
you literally changed 2 cards, and it was your Worlds deck.
I changed a plot to but it was like a lateral. I changed trade in with the Pintoshi to late summer feast. So just
How is like people still play that a lot? Do you like late summer feast more than trading?
I
Yeah,
I like late summer feast better in Lanny reigns because you can more consistently reigns out of it as your first challenge. But yeah, I just decided I didn't want to give people money.
Yeah,
So.
the Nordic
I
Greyjoy reigns
will
play
say-
noble cause instead.
Yeah.
In a post Valar Dohaeris world, I really am going back to trading. I
No,
love trading now.
dude, go to trade routes for the middle of the game,
trade
man.
routes is pretty.
It's
Particularly
just-
Spark.
But
Oh no! I mean, I'm gonna love trade routes too. I'm saying I'm gonna open with trading, bait you into playing your 6-cost guys, and be like, "Fuck you."
Is that sort of us tapping Stalik as a discussion, or do we want to talk about the social experience a little bit of this big giant
if you
tournament?
follow the Facebook group, you will notice that the Stalik experience is somewhere in between 100% to 1000% of the Staliks. I mean, why you go to Stalik. So if we don't cover it,
So, I mean, I have somewhat of a sense of what happened in the tournament, but it's not easy to follow drinking things that are going on while you're
Oh.
sitting at a table with Aaron and his wife having a few beers.
We every time my wife and his girlfriend started talking, we were immediately like, all right, let's update. How's everyone doing?
What's going on, Stalik?
oh, by the way, quick shout out to non-box cards. I played Sir Dontos in my melee deck, and he was rocking it all day long. He was so good. Anyway,
Well, Corpse Lake was the only reason I won melee games, so that's
sure.
the thing.
Oh, you were playing the Corpse Lake deck?
Yeah.
With Banner Wolf for Joyan, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banner Wolf. Yeah.
very good. Drinking. So I didn't as a Team Sweden player. We don't usually participate at all while there are tournaments running. But after the tournament, so at Sunday night, yeah, we participated and did it a lot.
We should have good coverage because I participated Friday night and Saturday night because I only drink when there are tournaments running.
So let's do it, guys. Give me the layman's take on Stalik as a
so-
social experience.
I've been there 4 years now, I think. So for me, it's just, yeah, of course, it's Stalik. But Malucci, first time. What's Stalik?
Yeah,
I mean, what's the atmosphere?
I didn't do nearly as much drinking as I expected to do, but it was great. It was absolutely awesome. Like I met a ton of players that I had, either talked to online or seen online posting from here or there, and definitely made a bunch of new friends. And I already plan on going back next year. Like
Oh wow!
it was an extremely fun tournament. The only negative is the fucking stairs, but just don't tell people about that, and then they'll show up.
I climbed the stairs once, and I was like, maybe they're not as bad as I remember. And I'm like out of breath by the time I get
I
to the
climbed
top.
the stairs with my luggage.
Yeah.
I was like,
It was bad. But
Oh,
no,
God.
like overall, the whole event was great. It was so great hanging out with, all these people that just you don't get to see in America very often, and it's actually made me want to travel to more international events. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that the Euro Championship doesn't overlap with the U.S. Nationals again, although I have a feeling like it's gonna.
It probably will.
It probably
Yeah.
will. But there are other big tournaments in Europe. I'll reach out to Sandy. He knows of all of them. So
I have the list is if you can go to 1, go to Stalik. If you can go to 2, go to Stalik and Fracas. And then after that, it's like,
I mean,
Sure.
So Sandy, you're taking me to Fracas, right? Yeah.
get a job
I have one. It pays me like nothing.
that lets you travel.
I have one.
There you
it pays
go.
me like nothing.
I will say my rundown of activities. I did karaoke, I think, Friday night, as well as some light drinking. That was pretty good.
oh, but
Saturday night.
pause. The karaoke, did it work out?
Oh, I mean, the internet was really slow, so we had to buffer from like YouTube videos. But like, yeah, I got my laptop or somebody's laptop hooked up to the machine. We got your mics working. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
what
pretty
I was
stoked
wondering.
with
I was
this
just
connected.
handing over the microphones and like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was able to get it working.
Cool.
So that was pretty fun. We did a lot of karaoke. I'm trying to think what else I did Friday night. I think it was just like regular drinking and karaoke. I don't think there was anything super. Saturday night, Brad and I tried to do the CCG draft, which Daniel Goebel set up a cube and sent it down because he couldn't make it. And one, we were so exhausted after playing like 8 rounds of Swiss. Like literally we were falling asleep drafting. And like I'm trying to build like some broken Greyjoy deck. Like I don't know, it's pretty out there. That we dropped after our first loss because we didn't know what we were doing. Neither of us knew how to play CCG. That was pretty fun. Then I played like a bunch of coup with I think mostly Brits, maybe some. I mean, Connie is not British, but
She's from
yeah, it
Madison.
was. Yeah,
Yes,
so
Bambi
that
is
was
an honorary
fun.
Dutch player. She's an honorary Brit, I think. So
Yeah, exactly.
Partnership thing, right?
It's a exchange program. There was also an L5R tournament going on with like 30 people.
You didn't play in that? I thought you were a samurai. Now, Sandy.
I let somebody borrow some cards, but like I wasn't like I don't know how to play. I had my cards with me, but I didn't actually like bring tokens, nor was I going to be able to focus on that when I was drinking.
Hey, can I piss off our audience?
What?
Sure.
as usual,
You do that every
whatever.
single episode, so.
Yeah, that's fine. What happened to the first edition tournament?
I wasn't. There was one. Oh, I did see them. They had a whole bunch of decks, and they were handing them out. I looked through some of them. I was showing Brad some first edition cards. Like I found the Barra Knights of the Hollow Hill deck, found the Landing Wings deck. Like there's some good cards in here. I didn't find the Bloodthirst deck. I think even in first edition tournaments, that thing doesn't work.
So Stalik 1.0 Legacy cost us 1.
Yeah.
Johnny got second.
Yeah, does anyone know the story? Because I want someone who's there to tell the fucking story, because it's an amazing story.
No, I have no clue.
Johnny
All I
can
see
chat.
is Baratheon.
All right, tell Johnny to
Alliance
tell
on
it in
everyone.
chat.
Right.
So we can be an interactive video cast now. Chat interaction. I hear that's important. For Buzz is the professional here. He's the Twitch affiliate. I feel like we should be love the chat interaction.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Because CT told me, and it was amazing.
I missed
was-
this story out of
I think-
Thompson.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't watching that.
So
Just do the story.
Give us the
We're
Cliff
not gonna
Notes
wait.
version, Glazer. Give us the Cliff Notes version.
I don't know it well enough. Like I was really drunk. I just remember. I remember it involving Sir
Oh.
Eric.
Sir, remember this?
Sir Eris Dissension both canceled, and then I think Varys.
The ally killing Varys.
The ally killing Varys.
I'm
On
sorry, I'm
who?
so used to like second
It's
edition
first
Varys at
edition.
this point.
So he has the guy's hand wipe. He draws 3 cards. Johnny's got to type faster, dude.
So he wiped his hand with the. It was the.
Oh yeah.
Was it the?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Oh Yeah deck. Which.
Oh, he's playing that fucking piece of shit deck.
Which is the Oh Yeah deck? It's been a long
the
time.
Wheels deck.
Uh,
The
Illusion
Wheels
of
with the Rule.
Heart.
Right. Oh, the deck he created, yeah.
Yeah. Johnny's baby.
Don't tell me you're on the phone. Just type faster. All right.
Oh my god,
So-
this is some really entertaining radio. Even
So-
even for me as an actual person who's in this. All right, I'm going full Jedi mode. Wake me up when this is over.
I feel bad
Alright,
for
fuck
the
it.
audio
We-
listeners.
we don't have time
No.
to wait for this shit. Well, I'll tell you guys. I'll interrupt when Johnny finishes telling the goddamn story.
Okay, so let's wrap this up with final Stolic thoughts. So we'll go in reverse order. So we did Malucci first. Malucci, final Stolic thoughts.
I'm going back next year and I'm going to win.
All right.
That's it. That's the plan.
That's the plan. All right, don't doubt it. All right, Buzz, final Stolic thoughts.
Team Sweden needs to prep better next year. There's a big issue with we hide decks from each other for Varberg Morgulis, and then we don't have enough time to build together for Stolic. So for this year, I'm like, okay, I will share all my decks I build. Fuck Varberg. We need to prep better.
Why don't you guys
America
move
had that
Valberg
issue
a
a
little
little bit.
earlier or something, and then move Valberg like a couple weeks earlier, and then you have more time.
But then we clash with Fracas, so we all have each Road to Stolic
They're
have
all-
1
they're all-
month. So yeah,
Oh.
When
Okay.
is Valberg?
Varberg is September.
I went. So Varberg, while it's a lot of fun, I would not recommend it as one of your, like, if you're going to 2 European tournaments, because it's kind of a pain to get to, and it's also, there's not a lot to do in the city.
It's not a city.
Yeah.
It's a coastal resort, like
The-
summer
the-
resort.
The hotel and spa there is really good.
And
I will say
September's the
that.
dead of winter in Sweden, right?
No,
So
it's late summer feast.
Sandy, final Stolic thoughts.
Stolic for me is a social activity that I happen to play Thrones at. I have no illusions of winning. I think getting even a positive record, probably fine. If I take the game seriously next year, which I'm tending to do, I think I'm actually going to start playing for real. Then maybe
You're a
I'll
world
have
champion
higher
now,
goals.
so.
But for the moment, I will definitely go next year, be part of the American contingent, assuming nothing catastrophic happens. And I want to basically I want to plan it better so I can actually party Sunday night with everybody. That's really my one goal. I didn't get to do that. I did not pull a Stephen Embry and miss my flights Sunday
Oh
morning.
yeah! Oh my God!
Poor
Not
Steven.
really bad,
He-
but it's a good story.
He was on the same train as us to Frankfurt, and he was so devastated and so tired. He was completely dead.
Why aren't you taking your victory lap, Sandy?
What?
About Americans proving that Europe is a competitively hollow meta. You were talking about how Americans were going to own England, own everybody, and they did. They didn't win, but
No.
they.
I thought I was expecting 3 of the top 4 to be Americans, and we fell short of that goal.
Yeah, one of the
shame.
top 4.
I was hoping there were 3 Americans in top 16, but if they didn't have to play each other, 3 in top 8, right?
That's
No.
No.
Embry lost his top 32 match. I lost.
You were in the top 8.
No, Embry
right, Tom?
lost his top 16 match. I lost my top 8, and Chris lost his top 4. So
So we have a little ways to go.
A little ways.
Next year.
Next year.
But I will actually second what Sandy said about planning when you go home and stuff. This is the first year that a big part of the Swedish group went home on the Monday instead of the Sunday, and it made such a difference with how much you can stay out with people and how much stress you put into the traveling home. But this being the year that the Americans came over in big contingency, we are also very disappointed that we didn't plan to go 1 day earlier as well. That's what I recommend. 1 day earlier than you plan, 1 day later than you plan. That would have been
So like a 5-day experience.
yeah, that's way better.
Thursday
yes.
through Monday. Yeah.
So we stayed Sunday night, but all of SoCal left at it was like 6 a.m. Monday morning. So to not do what Embry did, we went to bed at like a normal time. And I kind of wish I was able to stay up and hang out that night, because I didn't do a lot of drinking because of Joust and making day 2. And like, I definitely will stay until Monday next year and not plan on having to leave early. So
we had James Speck was staying up, Brad Iyer was staying up, and Ebrees was staying up, and Brad and James managed to stay up long enough to leave properly, but Ebree accidentally fell asleep or something, I guess.
Thompson stayed up for a while too, right?
Oh yeah.
Chris?
Both of them.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that kind of wraps up Stolic. I'm sure we didn't do it justice, but we're sad we couldn't have Chris on today, but he is recovering, and I'm sure he'll regale us in our next Second Sons episode with sort of his sort of Stolic moment. We'll have a Stolic moment for Chris.
Do we have to? No one's going to care about it a month and a half later.
Everyone is going to care about Stolic forever and ever, so...
I'm going to briefly talk about another tournament that happened this past weekend, which was Red Saturday, because it will lead us into our next discussion, which is, which was the first major tournament with Valador Harris being legal. Sandy, our very own Sandy Barnabas, was in the top 4, right, Sandy? 4. And was King of Swiss because we played one extra round because I promised 6 rounds, and so we didn't have an undefeated player. So Sandy lucked into being King of Swiss despite having a 5-1 record.
Yeah, my only loss was to the eventual winner, like Tom said. That's fine. I don't mind that.
Yeah,
you lost him twice.
I also beat 3 other people in the top 8.
Yeah. The winner was James from the Brotherhood, who was playing Targ Crossing of his own sort of his own brew of Targ Crossing. So congratulations to James. It was a really fun tournament.
He just liked the Second Sons Facebook page.
There we go. We're all friends now.
Does that mean that it was Targ Crossing X2 in the finals?
Yep, just two very
different versions. It was Dark Naj and Aaron's build that Matt...
not my build. I keep getting credit
Swedish
for it.
build.
All right, Dark Naj. Dark Naj is Targ.
It was
what
Dark
did you
Naj
say?
who said it for the Switch build.
What?
I said I don't want credit for
It's
it.
the Swedish.
What
It's the
did you
Swedish
say?
deck.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the Swedish deck. I didn't know it was a Swedish deck. I just know that John...
I sent my deck because it was a late build for Stolic, and I sent it to everyone, and Dark Notch was one of them, and he liked it and made changes that they didn't agree with. So they are quite different, but...
He sent it to me and went like, have you seen this deck? This is what I want to play in New York. I was like, yeah, I've definitely seen it. Buzz sent it to absolutely everyone. And then I made 2 or 3 edits, and they went with a couple of my edits, and then they made a bunch more. So
he did make some changes in the end that I liked, but I think they are quite different.
It's very interesting to me how different those 2 Targ Crossing decks were. And even, so James's Targ Crossing, I think has a lot more similarities with mine, with my just fealty deck, than it does with the other Targ Crossing.
Yeah, despite
it's a little rushier.
Well, and then there's 3 other Targ Crossings, right? Targ Crossing is a really versatile deck. Yeah.
James's Targ Crossing is much closer to just a good stuff Targ deck than the one that Naj sort of brewed from Buzz's build, which is much more of a rush deck, even though...
No, it was a jumper deck. It wasn't a rush deck at all.
No.
Yeah, it was tempo.
Well, the way Matt was playing it into the top...
Murder, tempo, pressure.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't playing it as a rush deck.
But that's one of the changes, though. So I had 3x Miri and 1x Jacken that I was standing and shit. And he did, that's all gone.
Anyway, Matt Gelman, friend of just about everybody on this cast, was in the top... was in the finals with James. It was a really good final. From what I hear, I was outside cooling down, but from being in the basement all day, so I didn't get to watch the final. But it was a really great Red Saturday. But that's going to lead us into what Glazer has for us. Glazer, what do you have for us?
Wait. Okay, fine. I
do you
had
have
a
to say?
thought, but I don't fucking remember it. Whatever. I did the top 5 cards of the pack, and then 2 cards that are not really worth ranking as the top 5. This is also a fucking weak pack.
Yeah.
Are
it's a
there
pretty
even
weak
5
pack.
good cards in this pack?
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
I
start
think
with number 5.
I think
What's
there's
number
Did you
actually
5?
say? What? Which pack are we talking about?
The
Oh.
newest one, the Archmaester's Key that came
Okay,
out
got-
if he
last
says
Thursday.
if he says it's a weak pack, he can go the fuck home. This is one of the
It-
most bomb-packed packs ever.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Mag the
Metallic-
Mighty is not the reason this pack is.
I hate
Whatever.
I refuse to put Mag the Mighty on the list. Mag the Mighty only matters in stupid
Dude,
jank shit.
Mag the Mighty is.
Like combo.
Magnemite is sick, but he's not
Yeah.
even. He wouldn't be on my list, so
All right, so number 5 is Ashmark.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah, I like it
Mm.
both because it invented a new deck type basically by existing, right?
So I read the card when it was spoiled, and I was like, okay, so it's the first now. But when I've been building with it, I realized that it can be used for so much else because you can trigger it in any phase. You can save stuff and then Valor or something, or you can do it to fuck up dominant stuff for Baratheon, or I mean, so much stuff. Or just in the beginning of marshalling to get back nonsense that you marshaled before.
I mean, you can get that 4th gold on there and just fuck with people.
You can get up to
Yes.
2 gold on it.
I'm not sold. I think the card is garbage.
I think it's going to fall into the same spot that House of the Undying did. It just fails to treachery. It's too expensive as a location. Like,
And it doesn't have the natural protection that House of the Undying has with being 6 cost.
Yeah.
So it's vulnerable to all the same stuff
Really
Astapor is. Except
Yeah,
for AC.
But it is an in-house Lannister location where Kevin exists.
I agree that it might not be like meta destructing, or it won't be like, okay, now First Snow is released, now we have to change how we think about the game. But it is a great card that some decks will abuse in some way, and they will love it. So
Yeah.
There will be Ashmark bullshit decks, but they'll have answers. They're not going to be like
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna
Well,
take. I don't
I mean,
think
yeah.
anything in this pack takes over the meta except Mag the Mighty apparently. But like, I don't think this pack is a take over the meta pack. I think it's just a bunch of good cards.
I,
What do you
I
think,
heard
Tom?
somebody.
I'm hearing some sighing from Tom.
Pack, and that's supposed to take over the meta, right?
which one?
Wait, what? I don't know what you said.
I'm letting Malucci talk. Malucci, then we'll move on to 4. Malucci, what did you...
I have no comments about Ashmark. I have comments about other things.
Because it's a garbage card that he doesn't want to waste.
All right, number 4 then. Number 4.
Number 4 is a card that's gonna be really kind of useless now because no one plays the house. Traitor to the Crown.
Oh no, this card
That
is
card's-
good. I like this card.
Yeah.
I like it too.
The second bear
It's
is good. It
really
goes in bear
strong.
decks, right? Yeah.
It's really-
It's the end dominance thing that is like
yeah.
redonk-a-donk.
Yeah.
So, okay, you can't put your best character in Power Challenge and they're not a Standing Iron Throne. Oof, straight up better version of the Martell attachment. Which is already good.
Yeah.
It is the
It's-
best Martell attachment, and this one is better.
Yes. Because it can go and it can banner Martell Stag, right?
Dude, hey, Buzz, you got to play some Venomous
No, it's
Blade. man.
loyal.
Venomous Blade's real good.
Is it loyal?
I mean,
It
of
is
the,
loyal.
of the people like, oh my god, I need to play Imprisoned, or oh my god, Attained is the best, but no. 3x Condemned, then we can talk about the other control attachments.
Venomous Blade is phenomenal, though. Really love Venomous Blade.
Yes, me too.
Don't forget, it's not printed it's printed strength. Not,
Yes, I know.
I'm just saying that to some people who
to our good
lost
friend
games around Saturdays.
Alex Bagansky, who did not know that. Yeah. All right.
But this is a negative attachment, right? So it's not going to be relevant soon.
Right. So I mean, how this always worked in first edition was like shit like this would be totally scared out of the meta. Like, and then everyone would sort of forget it and just go, negative attachments are totally unplayable, or whatever's totally unplayable. And then someone just brings it to a tournament and rolls because everyone stopped playing the counters. So, like,
That's fair.
it'll go
That's
out
fair.
and then it'll come in
Wait.
and win shit.
When did that happen in first edition?
I mean,
with Burn.
yeah, it happened with Burn several times. It happened with Dragon Pit by the end.
I
It
mean,
happened with
negative
it happened
attachment,
with,
sure, but I mean, in
oh,
Burn,
not specifically with attachments. I'm just talking about like that kind
Something
of
will
thing.
get dismissed. Like, I feel like Tunnels on the Red Keep was one of those things that went in cycles.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there were a couple of decks like that.
I mean,
Or
Grand
Grand Theft
Auto.
Stark or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
that's
That
exactly what I was
Stark
thinking.
steal shit deck that
Okay, so
didn't do much when people were ready for it, but when people weren't ready for it, oh man.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Number 3, the Water Gardens. I don't even know if it's
Which
good,
one is
but it's
that?
like it's my favorite card in the pack. The Martell one.
oh yeah.
Is that
I
because
love
the
that
kid that's skateboarding, or
It's like my favorite Martell in second edition has been Martell Banner Wolf, and I just think this is so good in Banner Wolf.
Really? More than that like Martell Fealty attrition deck that you were playing in the summer? I love that deck.
I really like that deck too.
I
Alright,
really
maybe
love
I
that
just like Martell.
it's not only Martell cards.
Yeah.
That's big.
I mean, your Harren Halls and Wards for super cheap is just fucking unreal, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like your Harren Hall Ward, Venomous, Gaston, and Vengeance for Elia. And you're just like,
Your At Night They Howl.
yeah, you're at night they howl.
Yeah. There you go.
Except it's
Oh,
loyal.
that's loyal. Never mind.
And so is that, so probably not. Here's where Buzz yells at me because I picked the Targ card that's not the one he wanted for number 2.
Dario.
I've got the Bloody Eric. I know Buzz wants Dario.
No,
I just feel
mean,
I think the Bloody Eric's going to be
Yeah.
fucking amazing in decks like yours and in decks like the braided rush thing.
Yeah.
I-
There's the you're talking about the Dothraki Knight deck?
Yeah.
No. Maybe,
Well,
I don't
Well,
know.
you should
Well,
also
The
talk about
one that
You're talking
the one that
about
was
Jim's
topping-
deck from Worlds is what he's talking
Yeah.
about. The
Yeah.
the Barristan
Oh.
Abuse deck.
Yeah. Like this is unreal in that. Because that like those two attachments were crazy good together.
I love that we finally get a good attachment for Targ that is not 2 cost.
Oh, yeah. Or 4 cost.
Yeah.
Well, that's an event, right?
Hmm.
So
I mean, it's fucking broken still, but whatever. Yeah, I love the Bloody Arak. Like, it's one of my absolute favorites. All right.
It's a shame it's on the wrong challenge, but
I like it for that early blowout game. Like, you still win a lot of games in Swiss just by, like, turn 1. I'm just going to drop a Bloody Arak in when they weren't ready. Oops, I win.
Well, this makes that Noob Crusher deck, the
Yeah.
Retal, Drogo, and like
Yeah.
Dora turn 1 even better. Just like
I mean,
Well,
you
it-
don't-
it-
now
it
you don't
makes-
need Jorah, right? You see something else turn 1 and you're like, I'm good.
well, it also makes that play viable without seeing Drogo, right? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
because when I was
Right.
playing a lot of Targ, it was all about the retail Drogo first turn, just blow them out. And now you have 6 cards in your deck. If you play 3 of this and 3 Drogo, where you can just destroy their whole board first turn without them being able to do shit about it.
Yeah.
So,
Is it what's it called? Oh, it's max 1 per phase. Oh man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Buzz.
It is, but you can still use it if you have Drogo out for 3 military
Yeah,
challenges.
yeah.
is
I
it?
know.
So does that max once
Oh,
per phase?
Hey, Sandy,
Wasn't
guess who I
that-
played? Sandy, guess who I played earlier? Someone you actually like and haven't seen him forever. Seth Booth.
Oh, it's still playing?
He showed up on Thrones Tech earlier. I was so excited.
All right. What was your
Yeah,
point
whatever.
though? Something the max 1 per phase thing.
Like, what is how does that work with different copies of the card? Like,
I don't want to know.
All right,
Ah,
max
that's
1
a
per phase
headache.
means that can't be that. So no matter how many non-unique
All right.
copies of that card, you can't trigger the effect more than once.
But that's not how it is for characters. If you have two
Guys.
different non-unique
Right.
characters,
That's
they
what I
can each
mean.
trigger their
Guys.
own things.
Guys,
Not if they
guys.
say max 1 per phase.
Yes.
Not
Is
this-
limit, max.
Is this beyond the wall? And I got confused about what podcast we're on.
Max. But I mean, I could be wrong, but that's. Do we have any characters?
Yeah, let's
that do
complain
max
about
1 per
templates.
phase?
and how
No, can I do the number 1 card now?
Yes.
Maester at
Isn't
the
it
Rock.
second?
No, that's number 1,
Okay.
right? Maester at the Rock.
So faith in Glacier restored. This card, I love it.
It's so good. And jumper, holy fuck!
Yes.
I could have a jumper event every turn.
This is why I
Oh
built
my
Lanny
God.
Conclave for my jumper deck.
Oh my god, it's so great. It's just unbelievable. It's if you haven't tried this, guys, try it. Like if nothing else, just getting that treachery every turn and being like, "Would you like to do things?" Oh, it's so good.
But did you have to kneel the 3-cost character?
Yep, I'm okay. I'm in Lannister, and I got the gold for it.
It's okay. I'll just run Annals so the event never enters your discard pile.
Oh my god, I hate that fucking card.
But
Defensive Annals is
So-
the new meta, guys.
So-
I'm calling it right now.
I
Beats
think
combo, double defensive Annals.
I think you left one important card and several that could
So-
have made the list.
So
Hold
there are
on, hold
definitely
on,
a
hold
bunch
on,
of
hold
cards
on.
that could
Before we
make
do
the
that,
list.
we're ignoring Valudo Harris, which is going to have a different discussion. We're going to let our guest, Tom. Is there a card that you think should be in the top 5 that besides Valudo Harris that Aaron didn't mention?
I mean, like, I'm very excited about the Drowned God deck that's going to be a thing at
Oh,
some point.
It will be.
It's
it
totally going to be a thing. And Acolyte
Yeah.
of the Waves is definitely going to be.
Dumb.
I mean,
It's just, I feel like this is just going to be another fucking dumb combo deck
Can you?
that's going to make
Tom,
me
can I
want
ask
to
a
not
question?
play.
yeah.
Do you have a Ground God deck with Mag the Mighty in it already? Or
I haven't played Rome since Solix, so no.
well,
But
when you build that, not if.
Right.
Because that's that combo, right? Mag the Mighty and this Drowned Acolyte bullshit guy, and like I don't know, some recursion from the dead pile garbage.
How
It's
are
probably-
you going to get Mag the Mighty? And doesn't the guy have to be participating in the challenge to be killed by Mag, like your character?
no, you just
He
need to kill a
doesn't?
character
Oh.
you control.
You just need to kill a character you control. Oh yeah, fuck. Mag, broken
Like-
OP card.
But the
Knock
card
his ribs.
that I was
Like
thinking
just
about
yeah.
is Oathkeeper.
Really?
Oathkeeper is fucking brutal. It's so
Can you
good.
explain more?
Okay,
Super thematic.
I'm gonna say Tyrell, Brotherhood Without Banners, 3x Oathkeeper. Let's go.
Oh, I can see that. That's pretty cool. I like it. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Stuff like
Did
that.
not read the fact where Oathkeeper does not need to attach to a
I
Tyrell
was here. I'll be back.
character.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
that is
so
real cool. I
good.
didn't think that through. Yeah, very cool.
I mean, tutoring is always good. It's if you don't trigger it, it's still a Widow's Wail. I mean, it's good.
oh, ambushless was yeah.
It's
Can I
ambushless Widow Wail, sure, but still.
Can tell you the last card I love that I don't know if it'll ever be good.
The
No, the Rat Cook.
Here
I really like all the different cool stuff stewards can do, and I just don't think it works together yet. But if it ever does, holy shit, is stewards going to be fun.
yeah, probably.
I played
I will
against
say-
the Steward's deck in Melee Astolic. That was pretty not good.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. Like, I just like it. Like, I can see Rat Cook just kicking people's asses.
I will say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first non-loyal take control effect we've seen.
Yeah, but like you use that and then you mutiny, motherfuckers. It's amazing.
Yeah, but even though it's not loyal, you need stewards. So like it's
yeah, it's
Yeah.
faux loyal.
Sure.
And
Aren't there? I
Ward,
don't know what stewards are.
Ward isn't loyal.
So there's still some cards that are really good. I think Duria can
Yeah.
become really really good.
Depends
But
on the box, right? We don't have
Queensman,
the Sand Snakes.
Queensman is fucking brutal.
I think it's going to be hard to use, man.
What
Like I
the
think
Ah,
I think if it works great, it'll be great. You'd need the non-barra character, and like if you're running this, you're probably running a Rollor package, and like you're running out of character space.
I'm going
so
to
like the
send
thing
you
that's really
No,
nice.
just run-
Huh?
I mean, just the ability to look at your opponent's hand
yeah.
It's amazing.
is so huge, right? Like,
Yeah.
at Thrones War, I was playing against Kevin in the finals, and he's ridiculous, but he trip duped Asha, I was playing Targ, and he just didn't declare a challenge for like 3 turns until he drew into a Scene in Flames to rip my Drac out of my hand. And if he had this, he could use it to see that I don't have that Drac and be able to move forward. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just being able to look at your opponent's hand is going to be ridiculous.
Hand knowledge is so strong.
Yeah, and if you have the neutral character or the non-Barra character, like, that'll be a playable card for sure.
Hey, you know what else this card shows us? That maybe we're learning about Flea Bottom, because after you marshal Queensmen.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I almost put Septinistic area. Whatever. I don't know how to say that word.
Hysterica.
The Hysterica. I think Septon Hysterica is fucking amazing.
Warm beer.
Yeah,
I don't know how you Euros do
I
it.
mean that's how I what I meant with this is such a bomb pack. It might not, except for Valard Harris, of course. There aren't very many like meta defining cards, but
Well,
there are
Mag the Mighty is fighting the meta right now.
Sure, but
Mag meta.
To be fair,
Episode title, let me write that down.
Voltron Brienne was already a thing way before. I mean, just made her better. Anyway, for each, is it
When you say wait,
is it every single house? Yeah, basically every single house gets something that's just really good. Maybe not Stark, but the Dreadfort Maester is not bad. And
No, it's a really good Lannister card.
yeah, exactly. It's a very good Lannister card because it's House
I think
Bolton.
I think Sam Bratz would beg to differ with you on Stark with that.
Oh, yeah.
Battle.
Yeah, but
I think
again,
he might just won one though. It's very expensive. Like you have to do it on your Nilfingers meddling turn. I think in Sam's deck.
Yeah.
But
I like, you know how I never have trouble playing Blood of My Blood, so I'm not sure.
So if I had a new player and he asked, okay, what are some of the packs that I should pick up? This is pack I would say get this pack right now.
Mag the Mighty.
There is so many good cards for so many different houses.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just I tend to judge. It's a good pack, like it's a solid B pack. It's just there's a shortage of like meta shaping stuff.
I mean,
This
is
of
A-list. This is
right?
maximum stuff. This is best.
Okay, fair enough.
If in many other packs, okay, so you buy the Valar Morghulis pack and you get Valar Morghulis and then you get a bunch of crap cards.
Oh, sure. But
with this pack, you get Valar Dohaeris and you get so much more. You get Mag the Mighty.
I mean, did we forget about I can't remember the name of this pack.
Did we talk about Valar Harris? Why
No.
I was doing my
Not yet.
No.
No.
But like,
so-
did we forget about Oberon's Revenge, which was just an Unreal pack, like already?
No.
I bought that pack in German.
I mean, Oberon's Revenge is the best pack the game has ever seen, and we're 2 packs from that.
I mean, I own 2 copies of Oberon's Revenge. So I mean,
Oberon's Revenge is an unreal good pack.
I own
Sure, but not
2 English copies and a German copy.
For
you go.
for every single house, except Lenny, which gets fiery poop, but whatever.
Well, I mean, that pack also just had 3 super good neutral cards. So
Yeah, 4
yeah,
super.
I mean,
Well, and
for-
wheels.
for
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the
yeah,
neutral,
4 super good neutral cards.
the neutrals are great, but the in-house stuff is like
I mean, Bran, Garland, Mutiny.
Mutiny, sure.
Garland's fine.
Stannis' cavalry is gonna
No,
be
no,
good.
no,
so we
no.
have that. Iron Victory, Eerie.
No.
Also in the Maesters is trash.
No.
Red Viper.
So
yeah.
so Targaryen,
So everyone
Greyjoy,
gets
Lannister, Baratheon,
Everyone
and
gets one
I
pick
would say
except Lenny.
Stark didn't really get
Oh.
anything.
Bran made a top 16 world stack happen.
No. Sam made a top.
I know. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
I do think I think like this pack is pretty good. I think it actually biggest benefit of this pack is I think it opens up deck building
Yes.
in like kind of interesting ways.
Yeah.
The Queen's Man and Oathkeeper both open up some interesting possibilities. Mag the Mighty, Drown
Mag
God.
meta.
I
It's all
hate
this stuff
Magmighty.
that's like kind of second tier, but might actually see some play now.
Yeah, it's not the.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how.
I like how they are not like, okay, I put this in every Tyrell deck, I put this in every Martell deck, but you put it in a lot of them and you build around it, or you slot it in this one deck that you yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's not a single card that I think makes a deck, but except Ashbark maybe. But every card, Backlord of the Waves and Naga's Ribs. Damn it, I lied. I take it back.
Well, at least the Greydroid cards are making Greydroid do at least something somewhat different than they've done before. So
yeah.
Since what are we listening to in the background, Roy?
I'm not
it's
sure.
Stardew Valley. I'll hold on.
It's fun. Wasn't bothering me. I was just asking.
Anyway, I'm in love with this pack. I really
Oh.
like it.
What do we think of the Iron Bank?
Garbage.
It's stupid.
I think so. I think so
It's
too.
so stupid that they didn't make. I mean, sure, it's probably not good. Maybe I haven't thought about it that much, but yes, the possibility of having like 300 gold on it after, like, was it 7 turns or something? It's just, why?
So I think there's one small change that I would have made that would have made it playable, and that's to allow the gold to be taken off at any time, and rather than just in marshalling.
Yeah.
Because it's actually, you can only use it for marshalling, which I think makes it significantly bad.
But it's a neutral, so finally a neutral that some might try and build around, but that's not like, oh, I put this in my every deck. Let's go. It's a neutral card. But I think whenever there is possibilities for putting infinite number of stuff, or even only a large number of stuff on the cards, it's bad for the live game. On the Iron Throne, doesn't matter that you put 300 gold on the Iron Bank, because it's just a number. But live, even if you put 18 or 10, it's just
I don't have 18 gold counters.
Yeah, it's stupid. I was very much against Jacob's card, Beric, because you put 6 tokens. Is it 6 or 7 tokens on him? And I think that's
6.
Detriment to when you need to kneel him and blah blah blah. And I'm also really not fond of having to kneel my faction card when there is like 14 powers on it. It's stuff like that I hate.
In that case, you can kneel the agenda card or something.
You can ask your opponent, so I'm gonna kneel this, but if he says no, you have to kneel your faction card, you gotta kneel your faction card.
No, of course.
Then I stack my power on my agenda card. I can break this system, Buzz.
But then I will ask you.
Just don't be an asshole.
No,
then you call the
need to have
judge over, and then we have this passive aggressive politeness
But
off.
I think it could be more well designed ways to have everything work live, and I think Iron Bank is an issue in that way.
MFG loves tokens.
They hate tokens. They don't even allow you to have tokens, basically, right?
No, the tokens are the token policy is not really friendly. It's the no dice thing.
No, yeah, sure, but I mean, you're allowed to have custom power tokens, but are you allowed to have custom poison tokens and stuff?
I believe so. From the last when they changed the rules, yeah. I
think you just need consistency. So like,
yeah,
sure, okay.
And it has to be able to clearly represent the board state and not be variable like a dice.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, I'm really not fond of putting heaps of stuff on the cards. I don't like it.
I agree. I don't like it either. It's one of the things I don't like about Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, L5R, is just how fiddly it is. Anyway.
Ala is definitely drunk.
Yes, she is.
I'm gonna.
What is racist? 5R.
Well, 5R, yes.
I'm gonna see bitch.
Is she
lots of
Asian? Because
Iron
I'm Asian.
Banks,
I don't fight
and I'm
this.
gonna spend all their money, and it's not gonna double anymore, and it's gonna be hilarious. Can't wait to do it.
Thank you.
Everybody should play that card.
All right, so I guess we have to talk about Doharis now, right?
Can we talk about Doharis now?
So
Which is probably the most anticipated card of the pack, probably.
I think it's doing what it's supposed to do to the meta.
It definitely made no one play Greyjoy except for Scott, who played a mini curve Greyjoy at Red Saturday.
Yeah, the game felt healthier for it, which is all I really care about.
Yeah, it felt so healthy that there were 3 Targ in the top 4.
Yeah,
I mean,
super
it definitely.
no, that ends up being the ultimate problem that we're gonna have to address. Like, Doharis is going to push down a lot of big guy decks, which is going to make Targ better and Night's Watch better, right?
Targ.
Okay.
But it's so one thing that that Jacob Wollerman noticed when playing with the pack is so location decks are coming back because big guy's deck, including Greyjoy, is taking a step back. But that also means that Greyjoy is suddenly better. So
Yeah.
So We Do Not Sow might be better than ever with Valar Doharis.
But it's a different type of Greyjoy, right? Like, you're not
It's gonna
just
be
running the same, the big guys Greyjoy.
No, he actually just played his Greyjoy Reigns deck and it did super well.
He just
Really?
played around Doharis, like he
Yeah.
just played one of the big guys at a time,
Yeah.
kind of thing, or
Yeah.
I think you
Or
can
force him
you
to
can
use it.
play you can play 2 to force them. You just don't do both of your big guys.
Yeah.
So if you need to replay your second big guy, you can.
Exactly.
Like if you have
I mean,
2
man,
of each, it's
when I
definitely
have-
going to be something you just need to learn to play around. And
Yeah. When I have 10 plots, I'm sticking Doharis and Duel in there. Fuck y'all. Play that game with me.
I mean, Doharis into duel when you have 10 plots is a lot better than
No, no.
Doharis into duel when you have 7 plots.
Duel
Or Duel
into
into
Doharis.
Uh,
Duel. All right, I'm safe. Reflood. Fuck you.
Anything
I
that makes
just-
duel more playable is good in my opinion. I think it's hurt in the short term. I think it's hurt Greyjoy the most. I think it's made at least casual to semi-serious Greyjoy players back away. I mean, again, this is what I learned for Red Saturday. It was just basically like, oh, the Greyjoy deck, Reigns deck that was dominating the combo meta in the lead up post between Gen Con and present, at least in North America. We're not going to play that. We're gonna push towards Targ. We're gonna try some Tyrell. We're gonna try some Night's Watch. I do think Tom's right that Greyjoy players will adapt, just like Lannister players adapted to Valor Morghulis and all that kind of stuff. But I do think it is a permanent sort of. It gives decks like I think Builders and Tomas style Night's Watch defense that was starting to get overwhelmed by the rush meta a couple extra outs that they didn't have before, which I think it's basically going to do what Duel should have done now, which is good. Which is give those decks some tools to even out, shave some percentages off those bad matchups, even if it's not like going to save the world like maybe Aaron hoped or I hoped. But
Yeah.
I like Valor Harris. We have a sweet alternate art Valor Harris.
I don't have one of those.
I know you don't because you weren't avid.
Well, maybe you should come to some tournaments and,
In America,
I was still in Europe. Fuck you.
I'll give it to you.
I have that
when it's
playmat. It's pretty good.
time. Yeah, you could have had that playmat, Tom.
Have you heard about what shirt we had for, I think it was Stalek 2014? Team Sweden had a Valar Doharis shirt, white, with Björn Borg on it, and it said "All men must serve." It was so good.
That's a tennis player for you uncultured swine.
Americans. Just say Americans.
So we will need to print a Swedish Valar Doharis with Björn Borg on it.
That
so-
could be the promo for Valberg next year.
Yes, absolutely,
So-
for sure.
So,
But-
minor correction. It's Varberg with an R, not an L.
So, excuse me, Valberg.
So,
The world will collapse with my inability to pronounce things.
Aaron?
Do we think a deck with Blackwater and both Valors could be effective?
No.
I mean, when you have 10 plots.
Yeah,
Even then, no.
No, I kind of. All right, I think maybe.
Why do you need what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in that deck?
I mean, you're playing a mid-range game. You're playing that like I'm just gonna make the game go long and grind you. You're playing a DC deck.
That sounds moderately terrible. I hope you get matched up against a Brienne
You're playing
player.
all three of those. You're playing dual, double marched.
Yeah, like,
I mean, at that point you wouldn't be playing duel, but I'm pretty sure you would double march, right? Like that sounds like a Martell deck, and you just keep the board small.
You
and
probably
say-
just put the duel in just in case. Double retail. Like
I'm just.
you don't.
I mean,
what-
so
right.
we're building the world's
Money
to come
Contra,
deck. Okay, so
Ability
it's double retail, double march, Blackwater, Dohaeris, Morghulis, First Snow. Why the fuck not?
Why
Like,
not?
God, that deck. sounds
Wildfire.
Like
Let's not forget Wildfire.
Maybe we put a wildfire in there.
That
Yeah.
sounds
So-
like
so-
a bust
I'm
deck.
gonna play.
Wildfire is
I'm gonna
not
play the
fun.
Iron
Everything
Throne
but
And
and
one
painted
traded
table
with the
and just
Pentoshi.
wait.
I mean, you can play an all reset deck now, right? With two
Basically.
two Wildfires, Valor Dohaeris, First Snow, Blood of the Dragon, the
Hey.
Valor
Yeah,
Morghulis.
but it's no longer Martell. You've lost us.
Well, I lost it.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
you suck. There's a card I want to know
Oh.
about. Has anyone played the Martell lose by 5 thing?
Hellhole?
No.
With or
Uh,
against?
Right.
I'm really curious how that actually plays
With.
in practice. The lose by 5 gain of power location.
Yeah, Hellholt. It's great.
Is it?
The issue is that
Greyjoy exists.
yes,
It's the classic location problem, right? So
Yeah.
The existence of Greyjoy.
Well, it's actually worse than the Tyrell one, because if you're losing by 5, they're winning by 5, which means they have all their like cool events to get extra power, which means all they like that the 3 power that you have on is just going to be enough to push them over. Whereas in Tyrell, like if you're winning and you put power on your location, like that's not going to be enough to push them over because they're
Yeah.
losing.
Right. It's where I'm not like if Martell gets enough lose to win on attack stuff is where I disagree. Like if they get like those nice little like chuds where if they like can attack and lose by 5, like make them overcome it on defense if they have enough challenge tricks that
like a
way.
Caliote kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
defend and I get an advantage. Let
yeah,
me go.
defend. And then like you just play sort of defensively and can slow play. Like Martell.
Don't they have an
Ideal.
event that pulls people in?
I mean, there's new merge.
There's new Marge, yeah,
and
but
they have
No,
the
they have
character,
that
the
character,
Paramore, Dornish Paramore.
Paramore.
yeah, but
Oh.
little shit.
Yeah, they
like
have an
that.
event that oh yeah, character. Yeah, they do. It's the like Viper's Rage thing with the Viper going like this.
Dornish Revenge.
Right, yeah, something like that, where you have to like
you all need
declare.
photographic memory, guys.
Like, sorry, Buzz. But anyway, I don't remember cards that I've never seen actually played in front of me. But it's the one where like you had the opponent has to declare it if able, right? That
And then if you win by
able.
5,
If you win by 5, you
I
kill
mean,
them.
like, and then you run the little like, what's that card? The Martell recursion event would be really good in that deck, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was gonna say because it can boost the opponent's characters and like
Yeah.
stuff like
That
that.
Martell recursion.
And give them icons, right? Because it gives
Yeah.
them icons,
Yes.
right?
That Martell recursion event is better than people.
All right, we're clearly off the deep end. What
Yes.
the hell?
So
To be fair,
Fuck
the Martell Recrusion event is better than we gave it credit for when it was
Like
released.
significantly,
Absolutely.
yeah.
anyway, so the plan for this episode was to have everyone give a stone cold straight
that'll help.
answer. Where is the meta heading? What does it look like a few months from now with Valor Dohaeris in mind?
The winter. So what's the Winter Star Championship meta going to look like? To be a bit
Right.
more specific,
Yes, and
So-
then we will revisit it later.
we'll go since we're not going to we're going to let Tom think a little bit. I'm not going to put our guest on the spot. We're going to start with Sandy, our hottest of hot take member of our cast. Sandy, where do you think
Also
the
the
winter
worst-
meta will be?
I'm the worst player in this group, and I'm the worst at reading the meta. So you should definitely listen to everything I say. The meta has never been healthier. I think that the winter meta, we'll see a lot of new decks. We'll see a lot of variety. I think it'll be in a place that it hasn't been for a long time. We'll see all the houses seeing play. It's going to be great. It's going to be a new reflowering of Game of Thrones. I'm unceasingly optimistic. I think it's going to be on the backs of Mag the Mighty, Queen's Men. It's going to make all these decks viable.
Glazer, why don't you pour some water on the optimism of
I can answer in one word.
Sandy.
Combo versus Rush.
Buzz?
So yeah, I quite agree with Aaron. I think with the big guys taking a step back, combo is giving more room. So unless people take against it, we will have combo making a resurgence if people play it. In Sweden, we don't play combo, so I think if packs keep looking like Archmaster's Key, that promotes deck building with lots of different ways to build, I think we will head into a healthy meta. I think these kinds of cards will help the meta evolve and what's it called? Like when a deck emerges, there will emerge a counter not soon after.
Yeah.
So
Dynamic.
where will we?
A dynamic meta.
A dynamic meta. Where will we end up? I think Brotherhood decks is gonna be like a real Brotherhood decks is gonna be the Store Championship like deck to talk about. Watch out for.
Tom.
So I think that Valor D is going to... I think the threat of it is going to... I think more people are going to rely on the threat of it than actually playing it themselves. So I kind of agree with Sandy that the meta is going to stay pretty diverse because as long as not everybody plays it, the big guy decks aren't really taking as much of a hit as people think they're going to take. And even if they do take a hit, if the players know how to play around it, big guy decks will still be able to stay competitive against Valor D.
Yep.
And I think that Rush, the threat of Rush, because Rush is like obviously the best thing in a Valor D meta, that's gonna keep combo down in itself. So I mean, I think the obvious choice for the best thing moving forward is going to be Rush. But then once people realize that not everybody is packing Valor D just because it exists now, big guy decks are still going to be very viable, and the meta is going to stay very diverse.
So can I ask a follow-up?
Sure.
Do you not believe in the Brienne deck?
The what?
The Brienne deck.
That's
Do I
torn
not
up.
believe in it?
Like, it's supposedly the combo is like turn 2 every time. Supposedly.
Yeah, my Greyjoy can beat it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've heard this story about like 3 times now coming out of Italy that there's a combo deck that's like unbeatable unless the person plays badly or whatever. And I mean I know, yeah.
I mean, like, combo in itself is way better when you play it against people that don't expect it, right? So, like, as soon as people start playing against combo and understand how to play against it, and there is a certain level of they need to include answers, certain answers, but they're things that are so common, like Nightmares, Enhanced Judgments, that if you're just playing those cards, which are good in a lot of matches, not just against combo, if you know how to play against it, I think you can beat it. There will be times that they'll get the nuts, right, and you just won't have the answers at the right times, and
That's
you'll
true.
lose the games. But that's true of anything, right? Like,
The issue I found when testing combo is that my opponent never, if he runs 3x Nightmares, 3x Hence Judgments, he will not see all of those, but I'm guaranteed to see all of them by turn 3 and have them in my discard pile for the Annals turn.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a range deck, that's not a problem.
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Now we can.
So can you
now you
explain
can hear
to
me?
me? Yeah.
Okay. I don't want us to go down too much to like combo debate hole at
Wait.
the end of the show, though.
Well,
Why
So,
not? This was
well-
interesting and civil.
Because it.
Let it go.
Well, no, I'm not. No, it's more of a time thing for me, Aaron, than it is
Oh.
a like.
So-
don't want people screaming at each other. This is like an hour-long episode itself debate.
Two.
I apologize, but
I will answer Buzz, and then we can
Yeah.
move on.
Yep.
So Buzz, in my Greyjoy range deck, I have a very specific plan against combo. Right,
Mhm.
every game. If I'm playing against combo, first turn I open big money, usually Pentoshi, because I don't care if they have money; they're not going to do anything with it. Right. I reigns into Riddle and copy their wheels. So I get probably one or two of my events in my hand or discard pile. Turn 2, I count in coppers. And then I reigns into my own wheels to get one or two of my answers. So between like counting and double wheels myself, I'm gonna have 4 of my answers, even if you have all 3 of your hands judgments. So
okay.
it's almost like Malucci tested with people who were playing Hyper Viper.
yeah,
For Worlds.
yeah. I mean, like in my testing with them, Jesse's like, you don't need wheels in Brienne, and I haven't played the Brienne list that much, so like, I'm not too sure about how that deck works out in comparison to like the Viper or the Lanny, the Wonder Woman. But the more I played against combo decks, as just like a good player, I saw the things that can beat it, and they're not things that are very complicated. They're just things that you have to be aware of. So, there's like a lot of choices where it's like they play a ton of events and it just comes down to like which events you cancel, right? And I've watched a lot of people play against combo and they just cancel the wrong events, and you look and you watch that game and you can tell the second they lost the game, right? Because they canceled the Iron Bank or something that's not relevant. You shouldn't have canceled that.
So in my experience, every single time any cancels they throw out is cancelled by the combo player's hands judgments. But so what it came down to for me was, okay, the only thing that beats this repeatedly, reliably, is winning before their honest turn. So rush, basically. Or Greyjoy reigns with, okay, I put out all of my big guys, let's go. I'm gonna beat you before you find your answers.
All right, I hate to end this
Great.
really good discussion, but the show is ending. I have 2 things that I want to say to wrap up the discussion. One, I think that this is going to be a Store Championship season of degenerate decks and not just combo. Be prepared to see a lot of other degenerate decks. Now, that doesn't mean that the meta's going to not be diverse, but I think we're going to see a lot of weird degenerate shit, because you always see a lot of weird degenerate shit in Store Championship season. Because my second point, Store Championship season is a weak field. Notoriously, people don't always bring their best decks to Store Championship season. All right, you see people experiment. You see even good players willing to bring decks that they wouldn't take to a regional. Right? Everyone thought that the game would be dominated by the wall, because last winter was the season of the wall. The wall. The wall is the worst thing that's ever happened to this game. Wall plus chamber. Oh my God, the whole world is going to end. All right. And that's not how it ended up being once we got into bigger events in the regional season. So I think people, on the other hand, should be prepared for some weird degenerate decks at their Store Championships, but they should not panic, because as the year goes along and we get bigger tournaments that have a higher competitive cachet, we're going to see, I think, those kind of degenerate things be Sandy's usual argument, which is they're not consistent, bring a good deck. So I think you're going to be prepared to see some weird, annoying, frustrating stuff to play against, but don't panic because as the competitive season
Because
flowers,
you brought your towel.
Yep, as you brought your towel, and that's as good a moment to end the episode on. So I want to thank Tom Malucci for joining us. Yes, I know. Thank Tom Malucci for joining us this evening. Thanks for coming, Tom.
Thank you guys for having me. Good times.
And yeah, it was really great to have you. I was glad we could finally. I hope the experience was as good for you as it was good for us. And I want to thank my usual hosts, Buzz and Sandy and Aaron as well, for joining me. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
I like how that was a question.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Buzz, I need you to kill it.
All right, see you guys.
Wait.
Wait, hold on. I'm killing time. Blah, blah, blah.